All right, so who wants to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Worlds? This is like a very loose amalgamation of stuff that's happened on day 1, and I'm not gonna be live on day 2 because I'm gonna be in Tokyo. So any Japanese fans, feel free to say hi. But I do want to do like a little brief overview regarding, apparently this Worlds has just been like a giant shit show. There's been so many things that have gone right and gone wrong that, you know, fuck it. We ball, I guess. So first you got this. So can they just not mention the time rules or what? Like, there's a lot of really interesting stuff to say about matchups and the importance of game 1 while playing a control deck. Why are they forced to pretend like everyone's gonna get like 4 turns when we enter game 3 at 5 minutes? Lab's a liability for this reason. No incentive for game 2 for Nets to scoop. Board plan for game 3 completely changes. Lacrima is the focal point. All this stuff is interesting. So if you guys are unaware, in Gabriel Netz's feature match, in game 1, he wins, but like it takes like 10 billion years. And like game 2, he's against like, you know, Lab. This is like the world's longest combo deck. And you know, let's be real. It's gonna take a billion years. Nets isn't gonna be able, like Nets, he's under Power Sync Stone. You're trying to tell me that like Snake Eye could play it under an opponent's skill drain? The answer is no. And Nets is like, let's just say this clock runs down. This clock is definitely running down. And what's that? Oh, 7 minutes on the round. Oh, what's that? Time called? Oh, what's he doing? What is he doing? Where's it going? Oh, what's that? Pass the turn. Waffles a bunch. Lacrima. Wee! Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! The Lacrima special in time. Why does this card burn? This card burning was actually one of the most toxic elements of this deck because it just, for like no reason, just gained the ability to be like, yeah, fuck it, we'll win in time as well. Like Lacrima Burn has been like the actual silent killer, just like the entire format. And like, oh look, well, I dealt my damage and now I'm just going to do Fiendsmith stuff for like the rest of the turn. Like do A, do B, do C, make Desiree. Oh, what's that? Time on the round. Oh, hit the gritty. It's a very frustrating scenario to be in, both for like Nets as a competitor as well as like Moriuchi, because Moriuchi feels like he just got fucking robbed at gunpoint, and Nets is like, okay, I guess I just have to use the tools given to me by Konami, but it turns out that the tools given to me by Konami is like, here's a knife dipped in like irradiated poison, go rob that man. It's like, there's no winning. It's a very frustrating experience to both play and play against, because when you're against it, you're just like, wow, I could do literally nothing, and when you're playing, it's like, wow, I guess I just have to be a piece of shit here, huh? He sold his soul for burn damage. Anything for Lacrima, wahali. And again, I am not saying under any circumstances, Konami, if you're watching, that I'm accusing Nets of slow playing, or that I'm saying that like XYZ is a cheater, or anything like that. I'm not doing accusatory marks. What I am saying is that this match was a match won by time, and for everyone involved, that was just very frustrating to be. God, why couldn't we have gotten the TCG ban list before Worlds? Konami literally is the people who control it. They could have literally been like, yeah, we're just gonna make a last minute addendum to the Worlds ban list and just be like, slap Appaloosa, slap Lacrima on, slap blah blah blah. They could have just done that, but they're like, nah, let's just, it won't change much. Don't worry about it. It's just very silly. It's very dumb. Okay, why is DK trending? I'm glad you asked. All right, again, this is no reason to harass anyone under any circumstances. This is not accusatory, Konami. This is just things that have happened. But I want you guys to keep this in mind. I was made aware that apparently, because Decade is sponsored or works with Untapped, which is like, it's like a Hearthstone deck tracker. Like if you're playing, it'll give you an idea of like what's left in your deck, that sort of deal. Now, apparently, while DK was reviewing the replays using Untapped, you could just see every single deck. It was absolutely silly. So just like 80% of the field's like deck list just got leaked. Like what the fuck? Oh my G, real duel logs. Can't wait to see you at TwitchCon, by the way, logs. By the way, I will see you guys at TwitchCon. But yeah, you could just see everyone's deck for the TCG, which is just fucked. But I don't think it's like exactly crazy to be like, oh, person A is on XYZ deck? Aw, damn, that's wild. I guess I know exactly what to play around. Like, I don't think I really need to explain that. That's like a little silly. Or just watch the replays and write the list of cards. It's not the point. The point isn't that you can, the point isn't the fact that you could just watch like 500 replays and just like spreadsheet people's cards. Like, sure, can you argue that like, oh, all the data was already made available? The point is, arguably, this sort of data should not be like live leaked like this. It's very much like a genie out of the bottle scenario. How do I describe it? It's kind of like the start of ChatGPT for homework. Like, it's one thing if, you know, like a very select, when it comes to like, you know, using ChatGPT in regards for like workplace stuff, you know, it's already like kind of suspect at first, but like, you know, it's not exactly like the worst thing in the world. You know, its spread is relatively limited. But as soon as that shit becomes like massively widespread and everyone gets access to it, that is when like this genie comes out of the bottle. Everyone's going to be abusing this data, as well as the fact that like the integrity of like terms of like the workplace culture. The workplace culture is just, you know, a tournament. It's kind of like if you went to locals, just like your friend just passed out flyers of like every single card in your main extra and side. Like, yeah, they could, you know, just hover over your match and figure out what you're playing and what sort of stuff that you're on. But it very much doesn't mean like it's acceptable to start, you know, just fucking giving open information and like deck lists out, you know what I mean? But isn't that more on Konami than Decade? I mean, it's kind of just like a nature of the game. It's kind of just like in the nature of tournaments and just like overall gameplay. If I go on like my OPGG and I see that I'm against a Aatrox and Yone main, so that means I should target ban like Aatrox, or I should warn my top laner to play safe versus Yone, or that sort of deal. I'm not like necessarily cheating, or it's not like an open secret that some people are better on some champions versus others, but it is like kind of a shitty thing to do. It's kind of like if CLG's labbing a specific team comp and like just like some random third party on Discord leaks the team comp, leaks the rotation patterns, leaks the item build to like every single comp on Reddit. And it's just like, all right, cool. I guess like this entire strategy is just out of the bag and it's either useless or we're going to be at a massive disadvantage if we have to play it. Well, at this point, to ensure an even playing field, everyone should have that info, but the effects are different for each duel/deck. The issue is that like, sure, you could argue that open deck lists are necessarily a bad thing, but it can lead to some very metagamey type interactions, you know? Like the easiest example I could give, yeah, like let's say that you know that Joshua Schmidt, for whatever reason, he is going to be on Labyrinth. You are like, all right, if I'm not getting Ariest, or I see like no hover or no anything, if I'm literally not getting Ariest by the Labyrinth player and I'm on Snake Eye, I am just going to go take the greediest, riskiest line imaginable and not play around a goddamn thing, because my opponent will either have the out for everything and I'm going to lose anyways, or I could just take the route where I'm just going to get hyper rewarded. So having like an open deck list and having that knowledge in hand is going to be extremely shitty for the person who, you know, is on the back foot. Like Joshua Schmidt, like if he ends up going against like Feats of Snake Eye, they're just going to like play balls to wall, and he's like, wow, they sure are playing hyper risky. They sure are playing the unoptimal combo route, but they're getting rewarded for it because they know I'm playing a deck with no hand traps. I wonder how this scenario could possibly go out. Are people malding about deck lists? I don't know why though. Yu-Gi-Oh is a silly broken game anyways. I'd rather have more information and not get sacked. It's different for a tournament like this. It's different for like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments where Yu-Gi-Oh is this weird game of inches where even just like a little bit of player knowledge or deck knowledge can really set off how people interact with certain matchups. Like I'm trying to find like a good example. Like let's say you're gonna be against like 60 card Branded or Pearly, you know, decks that aren't really playing that many hand traps. You're going to play into these decks way more differently if you know that the odds of you getting hand trapped are way less likely relative to, you know, if you're against, but like let's say like this Yubel, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Like, hey, you're gonna play way more differently into Yubel, which you're way more likely to get hand trapped relative to, you know, like someone who might be on 11 hand traps, or someone who might be on 60 cards, or someone who's on like Exo Sister who isn't really playing that many hand traps. You can kind of see like this dynamic where it's just like this very, it's this really shitty metagaming that should not exist within Yu-Gi-Oh. There's like this video, funnily enough, by Mother's Basement. Remember that shit? Where he talks about like Sword Art Online and how it's kind of like this shitty game. How the creator of SAO thinks that like video games are all about speed, when in reality, like most competitive video games about knowledge, it's all about labbing, it's all about, you know, like general information. Being able to know what your opponents are going to do or what their relative relative game plan is or what their general plan of attack is going to be infinitely more useful than having like a 50 to 60% headshot rate. You know what I mean? Games are won with lineups and team play. They're not won by the fucking Reyna in the corner on like the back of Bree's site going like pew 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 pew. Look at me. Is this drama already? Hell yeah. The Konami sniper. Real. Anyway, that was a very questionable analogy. Card games aren't about speed. They're about photoshopping a deck over yours so you can stack. Shout out to that One Piece guy, by the way. But like, for those of you who don't know, there was like this cheating scenario where someone like on a remote duel or like the One Piece equivalent of it, they would have like their deck. They would have like an image of their deck and like their play area, except that they would have an image of like a Photoshop still over their deck, and then they would like stack their deck off screen or like underneath the still image, and then they would just like remove that layer and be like, oh yeah, trust me, I shuffled, you saw, smile. I found a video about the One Piece cheater for you. Yeah, watch his video. Watch this area. That's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Where did that card come from? I wonder. It's the worst cheating I've ever seen. Whatever it takes. Apparently, Yugioh was in the fucking trenches of talking about scouting. Nesh had a tweet about it. DK just ruined Master Duel Worlds. I'm so against what he just did. This ruins the integrity of competition and skillful deck building. I'm blocked by Mask Jesse, by the way, so I'm sorry. Nesh had a tweet and a video. That's crazy, actually. Let's give this a quick watch.
Like, I think what DK just did ruins the integrity of the Master Duel competition. The thing is, it's a 3v3. People are supposed to share infos in between each other in order to figure out the opponent's strategy, the opponent's share cards, and the opponent decklist. Decade just decided to remove the part of the competition by posting every decklist on his website, Master Duel Meta. Like, it goes against everything that a Yu-Gi-Oh competition should be. His point is basically that there are friends that are gonna DM their friends and give them unfair advantage. If you know that someone is cheating in a competition, in my opinion, you're supposed to call them out. I don't think what you did is correct. I am personally, totally, absolutely against what you just did. There are months of preparation. There are months of deck building. There are months of testings in order to decide which entraps have to be played, which flex have to be played, which strategy follow in a 3v3 competition. You just decided to ruin it.
Okay, we kind of get the idea. It's starting to repeat himself. But you guys kind of get the idea that, like, even if theoretically people are kind of just, you know, already going to be sharing deck lists and all, and like, we're going to be scoping people out, let's not pretend that that isn't, you know, just borderline cheating already. Let's not pretend that, like, some kid with a notepad being like,
yes, one Snake Eye Ash, one Among Us, one thing here, one thing. Oh, he's playing Sphere Mode on the side? Ah, yeah.
Like, let's not pretend that that isn't just fucking cheating to begin with, you know what I mean? Presumably, this could have just been posted until Worlds was over. But I need my clicks on my website! I need the clickies! I need to click website. I need my 10 cents of ad revenue. DK is about to be the most banned player in history. I think it's very, very obvious that DK does not really care about Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I mean? DK has like made it very, very clear that although he streams Yu-Gi-Oh and although like his job is to like play Yu-Gi-Oh and he has like a site based around Yu-Gi-Oh and all that sort of jazz, let's not pretend that Decade likes Yu-Gi-Oh. I think Decade is kind of like in the Yu-Gi-Oh hole. He's very much in the hole of, I am going to milk this Yu-Gi-Oh thing for as long as humanly possible. Does Decade even play Master Duel? I can't even remember the last time Decade has played Yu-Gi-Oh. He just like talks about the game and maybe runs like tournaments and just kind of uses that as like leverage for sponsorships and whatever. And like, he's made it like very clear. He's like, yeah, ever since I realized that like I spend my weekends playing Yu-Gi-Oh at locals just to like win prizing that doesn't really matter, but I just don't care about the game. And he just like doesn't care about the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG. Like, he's like, yeah, I got banned for 7 years. I don't care. I haven't played in like over 10. Shout out to Duel Links coin, by the way. Shout out to the Duel Links crypto. I don't think I've ever seen him collab with everyone. Yeah, DK doesn't collab with people. He just wants to farm that solo content, which isn't, you know, inherently a bad thing. It does sometimes come off as like a little haughty, like, ha 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 ha, I'm better than all of you. You peasants will never reach my level of fame. What did he get banned for 7 years? A lot of things. So many things. But the big one that he got officially banned for was when he just started posting data mined leaks. Technically, I'm bigger than everyone if you count all my channels. That is true, bestie. Shout out to Duologs, our capitalism king. Keep robbing the Glitch Stars talent. They need to make even less money. But it was mainly just like the leaking stuff. Leaking was like the big thing. Glitch stars, you mean the money hole? As someone whose own agency has been in the shitter financially for like maybe the past, I don't know, 3 quarters. I'm with you, homie. There's so much money that goes into this. Do you know how many legal fees? Do you know how much models cost? It's so fucking expensive. Why people that every fucking time. Like whenever I talk to management about like, hey, how much money have we lost? They're like, I don't want to talk about it. It's too much. Prize card this year looks sick. It's like a dragon. I mean, like, who doesn't like dragons? It's a cool dragon. Look at it. But the number one thing that looks sick as hell is that allegedly the Rush Duel one looks fucking insane. Rush Duel formatting is actually just so good. Rush Duel formatting beats normal TCG formatting in every possible conceivable way. It looks cursed seeing Rush. The text does look kind of Comic Sans-y. I will admit, the text looks fake. It does look very photoshopped. This looks so not right. This is some Arial Microsoft Word ass font, you know what I'm saying? But everything else about this card looks so cool. Look at this fucking ultimate rare shine. The extended art just pops out. It like kind of works. Like the text is like still a little goofy and like the attributes kind of eh. But this is like one of the formats that just makes prize cards pop. But again, it's Rush Duel. We're never gonna get it because Konami fucking hates us. Why can't we get rarities like that in the main game? Because Konami has made it very, very clear that for the most part, they kind of want to keep their formatting the same. And it's kind of just like, oh, what can you do? Oh, by the way, yugioh, ask the Konami staff when I'm unbanned. It's almost the 13th. I'm unbanned on the 13th, allegedly. Did it get extended? Please let them know. Are there actually any physical Rush Duel cards in English? Nope. It's all OCG. The only English Rush Duel stuff we know exists is like in Duel Links. I didn't even know that Rush Duel existed, but it's apparently like a Duel Links thing, and it's apparently pretty fun, according to my friend Zach. You can play English Rush Duels on Roblox? Thanks, man. But yeah. That's like basically all the day 1 world stuff. What was your favorite part of day 2 for when this comes out? Because I'm gonna be in Tokyo and I don't know what's gonna happen in day 2, but I sure hope it's funny. I sure hope no deck lists get leaked. I sure hope my band doesn't get extended. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Congratulations to the winners of Worlds, whoever they are. Thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.